Rain hits the ground hard. Blue and red police lights flash across the street like broken lightning. Ethan stands in the middle of it, soaked, confused, breathing fast. Across from him, Liana, the woman he loves, stands in her police uniform, her eyes shiny with tears she's fighting to hide. "Ethan, please," Ethan says quietly. "Don't do this. Just talk to me." She steps back like she's afraid of her own feelings. "We're finished, Ethan," she whispers. "Please, just walk away." Ethan moves closer, desperate but gentle. "Tell me what I did. Tell me why you're acting like you don't even know me." Liana squeezes her eyes shut. "Ethan, stop!" But he doesn't. He takes one more step. "Liana, look at me." And then she lifts her hand and slaps him. Not in anger, in heartbreak. The sound cuts through the rain. Ethan freezes. He doesn't touch his face. He doesn't respond. He just stares at her, hurt, confused, completely broken. Liana's voice cracks. "I'm sorry. Please, just go." Another officer steps forward. "Sir, please leave. Let her go." Liana turns quickly and gets into the patrol car. She doesn't look back, not even once. The car pulls away, leaving Ethan standing alone in the rain. He whispers to himself, voice shaking, "Why would she hit me? What is she hiding from me?" If someone told Ethan that the woman who once changed his whole life, the same woman he once risked everything for, would one day slap him and walk away, he would never believe it. But to understand this moment, we have to go back to the day she arrested him. My name is Patience, and some stories remind us how love can change a life in one moment. This is one of those stories, a story of love, sacrifice, and a truth that hurt more than anyone expected. Let's begin. The traffic on Ada George Road was tight that afternoon. Ethan sat in the back seat of the Corolla, typing fast on his laptop. His fingers moved like he was born with a keyboard in his hands. He didn't even look up when his friend David said, "Guy, you don't detire. This your work no to finish." Ethan smiled a little. "I'm almost done. My boss in America wants this before 5 p.m. The third friend in the car, the quiet one, Chica, didn't say anything. He just sat with his earphones in, holding a brown envelope on his lap like he didn't want anyone to notice it. Ethan didn't think much of it. He closed his laptop gently and stretched. That was when they heard it. Park this car now." A female voice, sharp, strong. A voice that didn't take nonsense from anyone. The boys looked up to see a police checkpoint ahead. And standing in the middle of the road was a woman in uniform. Tall, confident, serious face, eyes sharp like she could read a person's entire life from one look. "Officer Liana." Ethan whispered, "Who's that?" David groaned. "That is the wicked officer I told you about. Very strict, no jokes." Liana walked to their window with slow, firm steps. "Good afternoon," she said, not smiling. "Driver, documents, please." David passed them quickly. Then her eyes moved to the back seat and landed on Ethan. She held his gaze a little too long, like she was trying to figure him out. "Step out of the vehicle," she said. Ethan blinked. "Me?" "Yes. All of you. Step out." The three young men came out slowly. Liana looked at them one by one, then signaled her partner to search the car. Chike started sweating. Ethan noticed it. "Are you okay?" he whispered. Chike nodded too fast. "Yes, I'm fine." But he wasn't, because the officer searching the car suddenly shouted, "Madame, come and see something." Liana walked over, grabbed the brown envelope inside the back seat, opened it. Fake company contracts, a stolen ID card, a list of names, documents that looked very illegal. Ethan's heart dropped. David's jaw opened, but Chike stepped backward like his spirit left his body. Liana looked at all of them, her face cold. Whose envelope is this? Silence. No one spoke. She raised the envelope. I repeat, whose envelope is this? Chike opened his mouth, but fear locked his words inside. Ethan didn't understand what was happening. He had never seen the documents before. He didn't even know what they were for. But Liana didn't care. She snapped her fingers. Arrest them. He was shocked. Wait, what? No, this is a misunderstanding. That is not mine. I work for an American tech company. I don't... Save it, she said sharply. I've heard that story 200 times. 2 police officers grabbed him. He tried to pull free. Madame, look at me. I'm not a criminal. I have proof of my work. Liana didn't blink. The station will decide that. Ethan's anger started boiling. He glared at her. If you think I'm going to sit in a cell for something I didn't do... She stepped closer, her eyes right on his, her voice low. Stop talking. Get in the car. For the first time in his life, Ethan felt real humiliation, real anger, real fear. Not because of police, but because of her. The woman who arrested him like he was nothing. The station was noisy, busy, hot. People shouting, officers typing, phones ringing. Ethan sat in a corner, furious. David kept pacing. Chike, talk now. Tell them the truth. But Chike just sat, shaking. After almost 2 hours, Liana finally called Ethan into a room. Sit. He refused. I won't sit. I didn't do anything. She looked at him, unimpressed. Why are you acting like you'll die if you sit? He didn't smile. Why are you acting like you enjoy arresting innocent people? Something flickered in her eyes. Annoyance, maybe. Surprise. Then it disappeared as fast as it came. Listen, Liana said, folding her arms. If that envelope belongs to someone in that car, you all are suspects. But it wasn't mine. Then whose? He stared at her. I don't know. Exactly. So calm down. Ethan stepped closer. I want to call my lawyer. Liana didn't argue. Fine, you have the right. Minutes later, his lawyer arrived, confident, sharp, and angry. 30 minutes after that, Ethan walked out of the station, free. But he didn't leave without looking at Liana again. Their eyes met from across the office. A long, sharp, burning look. Neither of them looked away. He hated her in that moment, and she clearly found him irritating. Perfect enemies. Perfect chemistry. The next morning, Ethan entered a cafe in GRA to get breakfast. The smell of coffee and soft music filled the air. He sat down, opened his laptop, and froze. Because Liana was inside. Still in uniform, arresting someone at a nearby table. She turned her head slowly and saw him. Their eyes locked again. This time, something in her face changed. A small, brief softness. A question. A recognition. Then it disappeared as fast as it came. Ethan's chest tightened. She arrested him yesterday. He should hate her. But why could he not stop looking at her? And why was she looking back?
The cafe suddenly felt too small for both of them. Ethan tried to focus on his laptop, but his eyes kept drifting back to Liana. She was talking to a man in a business suit, her voice calm but firm, the same voice that arrested him yesterday like he was a common thief. He closed his laptop halfway and exhaled. This world is small, he muttered. When she finished with the man, she signed a form and turned to leave. But as she walked past Ethan's table, she stopped. Just stopped. Her shadow fell across his laptop. Ethan looked up slowly. Liana looked down at him, not harsh, not angry, just unsure. Are you following me? She asked. Ethan blinked. I should be asking you that. She didn't smile. He didn't smile. They just stared. Yesterday, she said quietly, you look like a troublemaker. And today? Ethan asked. She looked at him again, properly this time. His clean haircut, his laptop, his quiet way of sitting, his steady eyes. You look innocent, she said softly. He almost laughed. Oh, now I look innocent. I didn't say you are innocent, she replied. I only said you look like it. He shook his head. You gave me the worst day of my year. You were in the wrong place, she replied. Because of someone else's mistake. She hesitated. Her eyes softened a little. Is your friend okay? Chike? He left before I woke up. I don't think he slept last night. She sighed. I didn't enjoy arresting you. He didn't believe her. You looked like you enjoyed it. For the first time, her lips curved into a tiny smile, a small one, barely there. Sit with me, she said suddenly. Ethan raised a brow. You want us to talk? You want answers, don't you? He stood slowly and followed her to a small corner table. She sat opposite him, took off her cap and placed it on the table. Without the cap, she looked younger, softer, more human. I'm strict, Ethan. It's my job. If I don't follow rules, I can lose everything. Even if an innocent person gets hurt? He asked quietly. She didn't answer. Her eyes dropped to the table. I know you're angry, she said. I would be too. Ethan leaned back. I'm more than angry. I'm confused. Why did you pick me out of that car like I was the problem? She looked at him directly. Because you stood out. How? You weren't afraid. What kind of reason is that? She shrugged. In my experience, the ones who act brave are usually the ones hiding something. Well, you were wrong. I see that now. A silence fell between them, but it wasn't a heavy silence. It was strange, warm, like something in the air had shifted. Ethan closed his laptop fully and asked, So, what now? She didn't expect the question. I don't know, honestly. Maybe nothing, maybe something. Before Ethan could ask what she meant, her phone rang. She answered quickly. Sergeant Liana speaking. A loud male voice yelled through the speaker. Where are you? We need you at the station. Case just came in. Robbery, possible assault. Come now. She stood up in one quick motion. Duty calls, Ethan said. She nodded. I'll see you around. She turned to leave, then stopped, turned back, and said in a soft voice he did not expect. You're different, Ethan, and I don't mean in a bad way. He couldn't speak. She walked out, leaving him staring at the door. That evening, something strange happened. Liana kept thinking about him. She tried to focus on her work, but his face kept coming back. His calm eyes, his quiet anger, the way he challenged her but didn't disrespect her. She had met many men, tough ones, rude ones, flirty ones. But Ethan? There was something else in him. A softness, a depth, a quiet strength she couldn't explain. She shook her head. Focus, Liana, she told herself. Focus. But she couldn't. 2 days later, Ethan received a text message from an unknown number. Come outside. He froze. Outside his gate stood Liana, not in uniform this time. Jeans, a simple black top, her hair tied back. She looked different, human. Why are you here? He asked. I owe you something, she said. What? An apology, a real one. He didn't expect that. She took a deep breath. I judged you too fast. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. Ethan looked at her for a long moment. That arrest, it messed me up. I know. It made me feel like I was nothing. I didn't mean to do that. Another silence, but this one had weight, emotion. Do you want to take a walk? She asked quietly. A walk? Yes, just a walk. He nodded, and they walked into the evening light side by side. No romance yet, no flirting, just two people who didn't like each other yesterday, slowly learning how to breathe in the same space, not knowing that this small walk would become the beginning of everything, not knowing that this moment, this simple, harmless moment, would one day be the memory Ethan holds on to when Liana slaps him in the rain and walks away.
The street was calm as Ethan and Liana walked side by side. Even the evening breeze felt slow, gentle, as if it wanted the moment to last longer. Neither of them spoke at first. They just walked. Their shadows stretched long across the quiet road. Dogs barked somewhere far away. A generator hummed in the distance. Nothing dramatic, just peace. Liana's hands were in her pockets, but every few steps she glanced at Ethan like she was studying him. Ethan noticed. "You keep looking at me," he said with a small smile. She looked away quickly. "No, I'm not." "You are?" "Okay, maybe a little." "Why?" She inhaled gently. "You don't look like what I expected." "What did you expect?" "I don't know. Someone lour, someone stubborn, someone who would insult me after what I did." Ethan shook his head. "I don't insult people, even when I'm angry." "That's rare," she said softly. They walked for a few more steps before Ethan asked, "Can I ask you something?" She nodded. "How old are you, Liana?" She laughed, a shy, surprised laugh. "Why do you want to know?" "Because you're confusing," Ethan said. "You look young, but you talk old." She raised a brow. "Talk old? You know what I mean." She shook her head playfully. "I'm 28. Ethan stopped walking for a second. 28? Yes. He blinked at her, surprised. "Wow." She frowned a little. "What's wow supposed to mean? You're older than me." "Older? How old are you?" 19. She stopped walking too. 19? You're joking. I'm serious. Her eyes widened slowly. You're a child." Ethan gasped dramatically. "Child? Me? A whole Ethan." She covered her mouth to stop her laugh. "You look 24. "And I look 22, he replied. She didn't expect that. Her cheeks warmed slightly. "You're just trying to make me feel better." "No, I'm saying what I see." They began walking again, the air between them suddenly softer. "So," she said lightly, "you're a 19-year-old troublemaker." "I'm not a troublemaker. You were arrested because of your mistake." She pressed her lips together to hide a smile. "Fine, maybe I judged you too fast." "Maybe," Ethan teased. "Don't push it," she warned jokingly. He chuckled. After a moment, Ethan added, "I already graduated, by the way." Liana turned her head fast. "You what?" "I finished university early. I work for a US tech company." She blinked at him. "From here? In Nigeria?" "Yes." "How much do they pay you?" she asked without thinking. Ethan smiled. "You want to arrest my salary too?" She laughed and gently hit his arm. "Be serious." Ethan hesitated, then answered quietly, "About $70,000 a month." Liana stopped walking again. "Ethan, 70 what? Thousand? In dollars?" "Yes." She stared at him like he was speaking a different language. You make that kind of money sitting in cafes with laptops?" "Pretty much." She looked away for a moment, confused, impressed, unsure how to process anything. "So all this time," she said slowly, "I thought you were some broke street boy with stubborn friends." Ethan tilted his head. "And now?" She swallowed. "Now, I don't know what to think." He looked at her carefully. "You don't have to think anything," he said gently. "We're just walking." She nodded, but her chest felt warm in a way she hadn't felt in years.
They continued walking until they reached a small bridge overlooking a quiet river. The water reflected the streetlights like scattered pieces of gold. Ethan leaned on the railing. Liana stood beside him, close enough to feel the heat of his arm. For a long moment, neither spoke. Finally, Ethan said quietly, "I didn't think you would ever talk to me again." "I didn't think so either," she replied. "What changed?" She hesitated, then answered honestly, "You." Ethan looked at her. "You're different," she continued softly. "You're calm. You don't try to impress anyone. You don't act like most men I meet." He listened quietly. "And," she added with a small smile, "you argue with me like you're not afraid of me." "Should I be afraid?" Ethan asked. She faced him, her eyes warm in the dim light. "Maybe," she said playfully. "I'm a dangerous woman, Ethan." "I know," he replied softly. "You arrested me." She laughed, a full, real laugh this time. Then her laughter faded, and something gentle replaced it. A silence deeper than any before. Not awkward, not empty, just full of possibility. "Ethan," she whispered, almost like she didn't want the night to hear her, "I'm glad I came today." He nodded once. "So am I." Their eyes held. For a moment, the world around them disappeared. It wasn't love yet, but something was growing. Slowly, softly, like the beginning of a flame that didn't know how big it would become. Before anything else could happen, her phone buzzed again. Duty. She sighed. "I have to go." "I know." She began walking backwards, still facing him. "Will I see you tomorrow?" she asked. Ethan shrugged with a small smile. "Maybe."
That night, after Liana walked away on the bridge, Ethan didn't go home immediately. He stayed there for a long time, leaning on the railing and watching the soft ripples on the water. His mind was too full, yet too quiet at the same time. Something about her shook him, something he didn't understand yet. The next day felt slow. He tried to work, but every time he typed a line of code, her voice replayed in his head. "I'm glad I came today." By evening, he finally decided to take a walk just to clear his head. He didn't expect to see her again so soon, but as he walked past a small football field near his street, he saw a familiar figure sitting alone on the bleachers, head down, uniform half unbuttoned, elbows on her knees. Liana. She didn't notice him at first. She looked tired. Not physically tired, emotionally tired, like someone who'd been fighting life for too long. Ethan walked toward her slowly. "You look like someone who lost a football match," he said gently. She raised her head quickly, surprised. Then she exhaled and looked away. "Oh, it's you." He sat beside her. "Bad day?" She didn't answer instantly. Instead, she rubbed her palms together like someone trying to warm cold hands. "You ever feel like the world expects too much from you?" she finally said. "Every day," Ethan replied softly. She gave a weak smile. "My boss shouted at me today, said I'm too emotional, said I don't know how to control myself, said women shouldn't be in certain positions if they can't handle pressure." Ethan's eyes darkened. "He really said that?" She nodded. "It's not the first time. I do my work, but I'm still a woman in a place people don't think I belong." Ethan watched her quietly. "You do belong there." She shook her head lightly. "You don't even know me well enough to say that." "I know enough." She looked at him, really looked at him, like she was searching for something in his eyes. "You're too soft," she said quietly. He almost laughed. "I'm soft?" "Yes," she said with a small sigh. "I can tell. You're gentle. The world eats people like you. And the world bullies people like you," he replied.
She blinked slowly. Their eyes held longer than either of them expected. Then she broke away, staring at the football field. My father used to say I was too stubborn. He said no man would want me. Ethan raised a brow. He was wrong. She chuckled faintly. You don't know how many times my relationships failed. He didn't say anything, just listened. One guy said I wasn't soft enough. Another said I was too serious. Another said I was too focused on my job. And the last one, her voice cracked a little. He said being with a policewoman is bad luck. Silence. Ethan felt something tighten in his chest. She wasn't angry. She wasn't pretending to be strong. She was just human. What about you? She asked suddenly, her voice softer. Someone ever break your heart? He swallowed. I don't really date much, Ethan said. Girls my age don't understand me. I'm young, but my life is different. How different? He hesitated. I work a lot. I don't party. I don't club. I don't chase girls. Sometimes I feel older than 19. She nodded slowly. That's why you feel calm, like a still place. Ethan didn't expect that. And you, he said quietly, feel like fire. She looked at him sharply. Fire? Yeah, Ethan smiled. Warm, bright, dangerous, hard to ignore. Her breath caught for just a moment. Neither of them moved. Neither of them looked away. The evening breeze blew across the empty field, carrying the smell of dust and grass. I don't want to feel anything for you, Leanna said suddenly. Ethan blinked. Why? Because I'm 28 and you're 19. So? He asked softly. So it's wrong. Why? She opened her mouth, then closed it. She didn't have a real answer, just fear. You're too young, she tried again. I'm not a child. You're almost 10 years younger. And? She looked away fast, cheeks warm. And people will talk. Ethan leaned forward slightly. Do you like me? He asked gently. Her breath trembled. Ethan, don't ask me that. You didn't answer, he whispered. She stood up quickly, like she needed to escape the moment. I should go. Ethan stood too. Leanna. No, she said firmly, but her voice shook. I don't want to fall for someone I can't have. Who said you can't have me? She turned away, hands shaking slightly. You're 19. Your whole life is still ahead. Mine is already running. He stepped closer, not touching her, just close enough for her to feel his presence. Let me decide what I want, he said quietly. She didn't move. The silence between them became heavy, electric. Then she whispered, You're trouble, Ethan. And you arrested me, he said softly. She laughed, small, nervous, real. She turned to leave again, but he gently called her name. Leanna. She paused. He took a breath. I want to see you tomorrow. Her eyes softened. I shouldn't. But you want to. Her lips parted slightly, like she wanted to deny it, but couldn't. Finally, she whispered the truth. Yes. Ethan smiled. I'll be here at 6. She exhaled shakily. Fine, she said. 6. She began walking away, but halfway across the field, she stopped, turned, and met his eyes again. For the first time since they met, Leanna smiled like someone who was finally letting herself feel something dangerous.
And then she walked into the night, leaving Ethan standing there, heart pounding. She was getting under his skin, and he was getting under hers. Neither of them realized this was the beginning of a love that would one day break them both.
The next day came too slowly for Ethan. He checked the time more than 10 times before 6 p.m. He wasn't nervous about girls. He wasn't even the type to chase anyone. But something about Liana made him feel things he couldn't explain. At exactly 5:55 p.m., he was already at the football field. He didn't want her to think he wasn't serious. He didn't expect what he saw next. Liana was already there. She stood near the goalpost, arms folded, pretending she wasn't waiting. But she kept looking at her watch like someone who'd been standing for a while. Ethan smiled without meaning to. When she finally saw him, she tried to hide her small smile, clearing her throat. "You're early," she said. "You too," Ethan replied. She looked away. "I wasn't waiting." "Of course you weren't." She hit his arm lightly. "Behave." They began walking, this time toward the quiet street behind the field. The evening was warm. A few kids were playing nearby. Someone roasted corn by the roadside. Nothing dramatic, just simple, peaceful. They walked slowly, like neither wanted the moment to end. For the first 5 minutes, no one spoke. Then Liana said quietly, "I shouldn't be here." Ethan looked at her. "But you are." "That's the problem," she said. "How?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she stopped walking and faced him. "You're 19, Ethan," she said softly. "You're supposed to fall for girls your age, not a woman who's older, tired, and complicated." "You're not complicated," Ethan replied. "You're just careful." Liana stared at him like no one had ever told her that before. "Do you know why I'm strict?" she asked quietly. "Why?" "Because I grew up too fast. I've been taking care of everyone since I was young. My mother, my younger sister, even my father before he left." She laughed a little, not a happy laugh. "I didn't have time to be soft." Ethan listened, eyes gentle. "And I scare people," she added. "Men don't like women who are too strong." "Then they're weak," he said simply. She blinked slowly, surprised. "People think love is only for soft people," Ethan continued. "But strong people need it even more." Liana looked down at her shoes. "You say things that make it hard to walk away," she whispered. "Then don't walk away," Ethan said. Her eyes moved back to his. For a moment, the air changed. He stepped closer, just one step, enough for her to feel how serious he was. "Liana," he said quietly, "I like you. I don't care about your age." Her breath trembled. "And I don't care what people will say. I know what I feel." She swallowed hard. "You don't even know me well yet. Then let me learn you." Her lips parted slightly, like those words hit her somewhere deep. Then she whispered, "You're making this too easy." "So you want it to be hard?" "No," she said honestly. "I want it to be safe." He shook his head. "Love is not safe." She closed her eyes for a second, like she was fighting herself. "Ethan, this can't work." "It already started working." "That's what scares me." Another silence. But this time, it was heavy with emotion. Then Liana whispered, "I've been hurt before, Ethan." "I know." "No, you don't know." Her eyes glistened. "I loved someone once, and he used me. He used my name, he used my work, then he left me for someone younger." Ethan's jaw tightened. "I'm not that man," he said softly. "You're 19, Ethan," she said weakly. "You might change." Ethan didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice. He just stepped closer again, slow, gentle, careful. "Then don't love me yet," he said quietly. "Just be here." Her breath caught. "Ethan, let's take it slow," he whispered. "No pressure, no promises, no fear. Just two people trying." Liana's eyes softened in a way Ethan hadn't seen before. "You're too mature for your age," she whispered. "And you're too scared for your heart," he replied. Her lips curved into a tiny smile. "That's not fair." "Life isn't fair," he teased softly.
She shook her head, trying not to smile too much. They continued walking, slow, gentle steps, and for a moment, things felt almost normal, almost easy. Then something changed. They reached a quiet corner of the street where the streetlights flickered softly. Liana stopped walking again. "Ethan," she said, voice low, "there's something I need to ask." "Ask. What exactly do you want from me?" He didn't rush his answer. He didn't joke. He looked directly at her. "I want to know you. I want to understand you. I want to see you smile again. I want whatever this is between us." She held his gaze for a long time. Then she whispered, "You're making me feel things I stopped feeling years ago. That's a good thing." "It's scary." "It's still good," he said softly. She exhaled shakily. "Can I ask you something too?" "What?" He smiled gently. "Why did you come the day before yesterday? Why did you look for me?" She hesitated. Then the truth slipped out before she could stop it. "Because I couldn't stop thinking about you." Ethan's heart skipped. She realized what she said and quickly looked away, embarrassed. "I shouldn't have said that." "I'm glad you did," Ethan replied quietly. Then something even more unexpected happened. A loud car horn blasted near them. Two men in sight leaned out and shouted, "Madame Police, now your small boy be that?" Liana froze, her face flushed with embarrassment and panic. "Ethan, I need to go." "Why?" "I'm not ready for people to see us together." "Are we doing something wrong?" "No, She stepped back. "I need time." She turned to leave. Ethan grabbed her wrist, gently, not forcefully. She stopped. Her eyes met his. And for that fragile second, the world went quiet. "Ethan, don't disappear. I'm not strong enough to pretend you don't matter." Her breath shook. She pulled her hand away slowly, not because she wanted to, but because she was scared of how much she wanted to stay. She whispered, "I'll see you tomorrow." Then she walked away fast, disappearing. Ethan stood there, heart racing. He knew one thing clearly now. This wasn't a game. This wasn't a crush. This was something deeper, something dangerous, something real. And the more Liana tried to run from it, the faster she kept falling.
The next morning felt different. Ethan woke up earlier than usual, earlier than his alarm, earlier than the neighborhood roosters. He lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every second of the walk with Liana. Her laugh, her honesty, the fear in her eyes when the guys teased her from the car, the way she said, "I couldn't stop thinking about you." He couldn't pretend anymore. He liked her. Deeply. Suddenly. Dangerously. But she was pulling back. He could feel it. And he didn't know if she was running from him or from her own heart. By 9 a.m., Ethan was already in a Bolt ride heading toward GRA. He wasn't going to her house. He didn't even know the address. But he knew her schedule. He knew she usually stopped at a small food place near the police station in the morning. He wasn't going to talk to her. He just wanted to see her face. Maybe that was wrong. Maybe that was too much. But when someone matters, the heart doesn't behave normally. He saw her before she saw him. Liana stood outside the food place, waiting for her takeaway order. No uniform today. A simple black shirt, dark jeans, hair tied back. She checked her phone, frowned, then rubbed her forehead like she didn't sleep well. Ethan stepped out of the Bolt, standing a few meters away, unsure. Should he go to her? Should he give her Stace? Before he could decide, someone else walked toward her. A man. Tall, handsome, bold smile. A man Liana clearly recognized. "Liana," the guy said loudly. Ethan's stomach tightened. She forced a smile. "Daniel, good morning." Daniel? Who was Daniel? Ethan moved a little closer. Not too close. Just close enough to hear. Daniel stepped in front of her confidently. "I've been trying to call you. Why are you avoiding me?" Liana sighed. I'm not avoiding you, I've just been busy. He chuckled. That's what you said the last time. I didn't lie. Daniel leaned closer. You know I still like you. Ethan froze. He didn't expect this. Not today, not this early. Not this kind of man. Liana folded her arms. Daniel, let's not start this. Why? Because of that small boy I saw you walking with yesterday? Liana stiffened. What did you just say? Daniel smirked. Come on, I saw you two. Are you seriously catching feelings for a teenager? Her jaw tightened. Ethan is not a teenager, and whatever I do with my life is none of your business. Oh, please, Daniel scoffed. You think I don't know your type? You like men who look innocent, men who you can control. Ethan's fists curled slowly. He wasn't going to fight, but he wasn't going to stand there and let someone insult her either. Liana looked around, embarrassed, uncomfortable, annoyed. Daniel, please, I'm not in the mood. Good, because I came to give you another chance. My dad said if you and I get serious again, Ethan whispered under his breath. Daniel continued, he can help you get that promotion you've been begging for. Liana froze. Her face went blank. Pain, humiliation, anger, all mixed into one expression. Ethan understood immediately. Daniel wasn't an ex. He was an ex who used her, played with her, humiliated her, and now wanted to use her again. Daniel smiled like he was offering her gold. So, what do you say? Let's give it another try. No. The voice wasn't Liana's. Daniel turned around sharply. Ethan was standing there, calm, steady, but with fire in his eyes. Liana's eyes widened. Ethan? She whispered. Daniel laughed loudly. You again? This one is following you now? Ethan stepped closer, slowly, without raising his voice. Step away from her. Daniel scoffed. Or what, small boy like you? Ethan didn't blink. I'm asking nicely. People inside the food place had started watching. A few even stepped outside. Daniel frowned. Liana, tell his small friend to behave. Liana tried to move between them. Ethan, please. But Ethan gently lifted his hand, a sign for her to stay back. He wasn't angry. He wasn't shouting. He wasn't shaking. He was calm. Too calm. Ethan said quietly, let me make something clear. You don't talk to her like that. Daniel laughed again. You think she belongs to you? No, but she definitely doesn't belong to you. Daniel stepped closer, aggressively. You want to fight? No, but I won't allow you to disrespect her. Liana's breath caught. She had never seen someone stand up for her like that. Calm, quiet, confident, but firm. Daniel clicked his tongue. She dumped you before. She'll dump this boy too. Liana flinched. That one hurt her. Ethan saw it, and his voice changed. Not loud, not angry, just honest. She didn't dump me, Ethan said softly. She walked away because she was scared. Big difference. Daniel rolled his eyes. You're a child. Stay out of adult things. Ethan smiled slightly, the kind that held no fear. I'm not the one who came begging for a second chance. The crowd murmured. Daniel's face changed instantly. Embarrassment, anger, shame, all at once. But Ethan wasn't done. And for the record, he added, I'm not scared of you. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm only talking because you're upsetting someone I care about. That word, C-A-R-E. Liana's heart jumped. Daniel shook his head like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. Liana, is this really what you want? This boy? Liana didn't answer. She looked down at the ground, but her silence said everything. Daniel scoffed. God forbid. He turned and walked toward his car, fuming. Liana exhaled shakily. Ethan watched her carefully.
When Daniel drove off finally, Liana covered her face with her hands. "Oh God, what have you done?" "What?" Ethan asked softly. "You embarrassed him. He deserved it." "You shouldn't have..." "Liana," Ethan said quietly, "I wasn't fighting him. I was protecting you." She lowered her hands slowly, and her eyes said something she didn't want to feel. "You shouldn't care about me this much," she whispered. "I can't help it," Ethan replied. She looked at him, long, soft, afraid, wanting, confused. "You're 19, she said again, like she was trying to remind herself. "And you're 28, he said. "So what?" "It's wrong." "Why?" "It just is." "No, it's only wrong if you don't feel anything." She froze. He stepped closer, only half a step, enough to make her heartbeat stutter. "Do you feel something, Liana?" Her lips parted, her breathing changed, her eyes softened. "Ethan," she whispered. He waited, patient, calm, hopeful. But Liana suddenly stepped back, fast, like she was waking up from a dream. "I have to go. This is too much. It's happening too fast." "Liana." "No," she said, shaking her head. "I need space. I need time to think about..." "About what?" he asked softly. "About you," she whispered. Then she walked away, not slowly this time, fast, scared, like her heart was running ahead of her. Ethan watched her go. He didn't stop her. But when she reached the corner and disappeared, his chest tightened painfully, because for the first time, he realized something. She feels something for him, but she's fighting it with everything she has. And the sad part? He had no idea if he was strong enough to win a fight against her fear.
The next 2 days were quiet. Too quiet. Liana didn't text. She didn't call. She didn't pass by his street. She didn't even show up at the cafe. Ethan tried to work, but his mind kept drifting. He tried to sleep, but every time he closed his eyes, he kept seeing her walking away at that corner, scared of her own feelings. He didn't want to chase her. He didn't want to pressure her. But the silence was starting to hurt. Meanwhile, Liana was falling apart. Her mood at the station changed. Her colleagues noticed she was distracted, irritated, unusually quiet. At night, she sat alone in her room, replaying the scene with Daniel, and Ethan standing up for her like she was worth protecting. Her chest tightened every time she remembered it. And then she remembered his words. "Do you feel something, Liana?" She did. And that terrified her more than anything. "I'm too old for this," she whispered to herself. "He's 19. This can't work." But she couldn't stop thinking about his smile, his calm voice, his steady eyes, the way he didn't raise his voice at Daniel, the way he didn't insult anyone, the way he didn't pretend. Ethan felt safe. Safe in a way she hadn't felt in years. And that was the problem. On the third day, life made a move before she could. Ethan was at a tech workspace in Ada George fixing a back-end error for his company in the US. He wore headphones, laptop open, focused. His phone buzzed beside him. He ignored it. Buzz, buzz, buzz. He sighed, checked the screen, and froze. Unknown number. "Ethan, please help me." He sat up straight instantly. Another message came. "It's Rihanna." His heart dropped. He stood up so fast his chair almost fell. He typed quickly. "Where are you? Are you okay?" She replied immediately. "I'm at the station. Something has happened." Ethan grabbed his laptop bag and ran out of the workspace. When he arrived, Liana was standing outside with her arms folded tightly across her chest, her uniform dusty, her hair messy like she had been stressed since morning. But her eyes softened the moment she saw him. Not anger, not fear, not confusion. Relief. "Ethan, thank God you came." He came closer immediately. "What happened?" She looked around to make sure no one was listening. Then she whispered, "It's about Chike." Ethan's blood ran cold. "What about him?" "He came to the station today. He said someone threatened him. He looked scared. He kept saying it wasn't safe for him anymore." Ethan stepped closer. "Did he say who?" "No, but he gave me this." She handed Ethan a folded paper. He opened it. His heartbeat stopped. It was a screenshot of a message sent to Chike. Only 5 words. "Tell only Ethan the truth." Ethan felt his stomach tighten. "The truth about what?" he asked softly. Liana swallowed. "I don't know, but before Chike could explain anything, something strange happened." "What?" "He ran out of the station, like someone was following him." "What?" "And Ethan," she continued, lowering her voice, "he looked like he was running for his life." Ethan looked up sharply. "So where is he now?" "I don't know," she whispered. "He disappeared." They stared at each other, fear hanging between them. The air felt heavy, very heavy. Before either of them could speak again, someone called out loudly, "Officer Liana!" She turned sharply. A junior officer rushed toward her. "Ma'am, that man you were looking for? The one who dropped the envelope the day you arrested this boy?" Ethan and Liana exchanged a look. "Yes, what about him?" "He's wanted now. They found out he's been working with a fraud ring. His name was flagged this morning." Liana turned slowly toward Ethan. Ethan's heart dropped. The officer added, "And it looks like he's set up everyone who was with him, including your friend." Ethan stepped back. Liana stepped forward. Their eyes locked. The truth was finally surfacing. The arrest, the envelope, Chike's fear, the message. Everything was connected. Liana whispered, "Ethan, you weren't arrested by mistake." Ethan clenched his jaw. "So someone planned it?" "Yes," she said softly, "and whoever planned it knows your name." A small shiver ran through Ethan. His world suddenly felt unstable. She looked at him, worried, stressed, vulnerable. "Ethan," she said quietly, "I didn't call you here just to tell you this." "What else?" he asked. She took one small step closer. "I was scared. I didn't know who else to call." Ethan's chest tightened. "Liana, I know I said I needed space, but I didn't think things would get dangerous." Her voice broke. "So please, don't leave. Not now." Ethan reached out slowly, carefully, and touched her hand. It was warm, shaking slightly. "I'm not going anywhere," he said softly. She closed her eyes just for a second, like that sentence was the first thing that made her breathe all day. When she opened them again, she looked at Ethan with an expression he had never seen before. Fear, relief, hope, and something deeper. Something she was still trying to hide. "Thank you," she whispered. They stood there close, but not touching any further.
as a storm quietly gathered behind their lives. And somewhere in the city, Chike was running. Running from someone who wanted Ethan to know the truth. But neither Ethan nor Liana knew that what Chike was hiding was bigger than both of them. And the truth waiting for Ethan would change everything.
The rain started again that evening. Not heavy, just small drops tapping the station roof like soft warnings. Ethan and Liana stood under the small shelter outside, the air cold and tense around them. Neither of them said anything for a moment. Then Liana spoke first. "Ethan, I think Chike is in real danger." Ethan rubbed his forehead. He said someone threatened him, but why would they come after him now? It's been weeks since the incident. Liana shook her head. That's the part that doesn't make sense. If someone wanted to silence him, they would have done it sooner. Ethan leaned against the wall, thinking. Unless, he said slowly, he finally knows something he didn't know before. Liana froze. That theory hit too close. A young officer jogged over. "Ma, we checked the CCTV. The boy ran toward the junction by Rumola. After that, no trace." Liana nodded. "Okay, keep searching." The officer left. The silence returned. Meanwhile, Chike was hiding. Across the city, in an old, uncompleted building near Diobu, Chike sat on the cold floor, breathing like someone had run for hours. His hands were shaking. He stared at his phone. The battery was 9%. He typed a message, deleted it, typed again, deleted it again. He pressed his palm to his face. "God, what have I done?" His voice cracked. A shadow moved outside the window. Chike froze. Then he grabbed the phone again and typed one last message. To Ethan. He hit send and ran deeper into the darkness of the building. Back at the station, Ethan's phone buzzed. He pulled it out quickly. A message from Chike. "I didn't know, Ethan. I swear I didn't know. The envelope, it wasn't meant for me. It was meant for you." Ethan's eyes widened. Liana noticed immediately. What happened? What did he say? He handed her the phone. She read it carefully. Slowly, her eyes narrowing as the pieces started to connect. "Ethan," she whispered, "whatever happened that day, it wasn't random." Ethan swallowed. "But why me?" Liana paced a little, thinking out loud. "It could be someone at your workplace, someone from your past, someone who knows your family, or..." She stopped. A sudden thought hit her. "Ethan, who knew where you were that day?" "My friends, David and Chike. And who else?" "My project manager, my mom, my boss in the US. Liana shook her head. "No, I mean, who knew your exact location, the exact road, the exact time?" His breath caught. Only one person did. He whispered, "David." Liana's eyes sharpened. "Where is he now?" I don't know." At the same moment, David sat in a bar. He scrolled through his phone nervously, deleting messages. He looked sick, restless. He kept checking the door. A man approached him. Dark glasses, clean suit, calm voice. "You've done your part. You will get your balance," the man said. David nodded quickly, too scared to look up. The man leaned closer. "And remember, this isn't about the boy." David swallowed. "I know. It's about the money behind him." David shut his eyes tightly. Guilt was eating him alive, but it was too late to go back. At the station, Ethan and Liana received another message. Chike again. This time, only 3 words. "They want you." Before Liana could react, Ethan grabbed his keys. "We need to find him."
Liana held his arm firmly. No, we need to be smart. Liana, my friend is running for his life. And you might be next, she snapped. Ethan stopped. Her voice wasn't angry. It was scared. Really scared. She stepped closer. Ethan, someone set you up that day. Someone wanted you behind bars. This isn't small. Ethan swallowed hard. But why me? Liana paced a little, thinking out loud. It could be someone at your workplace, someone from your past, someone who knows your family, or... She stopped. Her voice shook now. They could finish what they started. Ethan looked at her, really looked at her. Her fear wasn't for the case. It was for him. Liana, she stepped even closer. Please don't run into danger. Not alone. For a moment, neither spoke. The rain got heavier, the station lights flickered. Then Ethan whispered, I trust you. Just tell me what to do. Liana nodded slowly. Tonight, you stay with me. Ethan blinked. What? It's not safe for you to sleep in that house. If someone is targeting you, we can't give them a quiet place to attack. He hesitated. She took a breath. Please, Ethan. Her voice dropped soft. I don't want anything to happen to you. Ethan looked at her, the strict officer, the woman who once arrested him, the woman who hid her fears so well, and he saw the truth in her eyes. She meant every word. He nodded. Okay, I'll stay. Liana exhaled shakily, relief flooding her face. But before they could leave, another officer rushed out, panicking. Madam Liana, they just reported something. What happened? A young man. He was found unconscious near Diobu. Ethan's heart stopped. Was his name Chike? The officer swallowed. Yes. Ethan took one step backward as if his legs were giving out. Liana grabbed his hand instinctively. The officer added softly, He's alive, but barely. The world around Ethan felt like it tilted. Liana squeezed his hand tighter. Her voice was calm, but her eyes held fear. Ethan, whatever this is, it has already started. And before the night ends, Ethan will learn the one thing he's not ready to hear.
Chike wasn't just running from danger. He was running from someone Ethan knows, someone close, someone unexpected, someone watching. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and cold air. Ethan rushed through the corridor, his heart beating too fast, his hands shaking. Liana walked beside him quickly, trying to stay composed, but her face was tight with worry. A nurse pointed them toward a room. She's stable, she said softly, but the doctor hasn't allowed him to speak yet. He lost a lot of blood. Ethan didn't wait. He pushed the door open. Chike lay on the bed, bandages around his arm and forehead, oxygen tubes near his nose. His eyes were half open, unfocused, but he was alive. Ethan exhaled sharply, half relief, half fear. He moved closer. Chike, Ethan whispered, I'm here. Chike's eyes trembled, then slowly shifted toward him. Ethan. His voice was barely air. Liana walked forward, her voice gentle but firm. Chike, you're safe, but we need you to tell us what happened. Chike swallowed weakly. I didn't want to drag you in, but they said if I talk, they'll kill me. Ethan leaned closer. Who, Chike? Who did this? Chike's lips trembled. It's someone close to you. Liana exchanged a sharp look at Ethan. Close to him how? She asked. Chike hesitated, fear clouding his eyes. Ethan, remember that day on the road? He whispered. When the officer stopped us? Ethan nodded. Yes. That envelope. I didn't bring it. Liana leaned forward. Then who put it in the car, Chike? Chike's voice shook. Someone who knew Ethan. Someone who knew he would be in that car. Someone who wanted him arrested. Ethan's mind raced.
Just say the name, he said. Chike looked like he wanted to, like the truth was burning in his throat, but he kept glancing toward the door, paranoid. Ethan, I shouldn't have kept quiet. I thought it was nothing. I thought it wouldn't affect you. But then, they started following me. Who? Ethan demanded, trying not to shout. Chike took a long breath. Your friend, David. Before he could finish, the heart monitor began beeping faster. Liana stepped back. Doctor. 2 nurses rushed in immediately. Ethan tried to stay beside the bed, but Liana held his arm. Give them space, she said. Ethan's eyes stayed locked on Chike. His friend struggled to lift a hand toward him. Ethan, he set you up, but he's not the one in charge. Ethan's body went cold. Then who is? Chike's voice faded. It's someone powerful. Someone you don't expect. The machine's beeps louder. The doctor hurried in. Out, please. Liana pulled Ethan back as the curtains were drawn. Ethan stared at the floor, breath shaking. David? His closest friend? Could he really have done something like this? Liana placed a firm hand on his back. Ethan, I know this hurts, but we need to think clearly. He brushed a hand over his face. I trusted him. I let him into my house. I fed him. I helped him find work when he had nothing. Why would he do this? Liana sighed softly. People change when money enters the picture. Ethan looked at her sharply. Money? She nodded. You make $70,000 a month. Whether you like it or not, you are a target. Ethan sat slowly in the waiting chair. His whole world felt like it was folding in. Liana sat beside him. Her voice softened again, something only Ethan ever heard. We will solve this. I promise. He looked up at her, eyes tired, heart shaking. Why are you helping me this much? She held his gaze, because she couldn't avoid the truth anymore. Because I care. Ethan swallowed hard. This wasn't the time for feelings, but the emotion between them was real, heavy, alive. Before either could speak again, the doctor stepped out. He's stable, he said, but he needs rest. No more questions tonight. Ethan nodded, relief washing through him. But Liana didn't relax. She leaned close to the doctor. Doctor, was he attacked or did he fall? The doctor looked uncomfortable. The injuries were deliberate. Someone beat him. Ethan's fist tightened. Liana stood taller, her eyes sharp. We need security on his ring. No visitors except us. Yes, officer. As the doctor walked away, Ethan muttered, If David did this, I swear. Ethan, Liana interrupted. Don't go after him, not alone. He looked at her. So what do we do? Liana crossed her arms. We investigate him properly. Check his bank records, his calls, his movements. And then, she took a deep breath. And then we find out who he's working for. Ethan stared at his hands. The guilt in his chest felt heavy. He betrayed me. Liana, she placed her hand gently on his back. Some betrayals come from people who smile the closest. A silence settled between them. Then Ethan's phone buzzed again. A message. No name, no number, just one sentence. Stop digging or the boy won't wake up next time. Liana grabbed the phone, her jaw tightening. Ethan felt something dark and cold rise inside him. Whoever was behind this was watching them right now, watching every move Ethan made. Liana's voice hardened, filled with a seriousness Ethan hadn't seen before. This isn't just about David anymore. Ethan nodded slowly. I know. Liana lowered her voice further. Ethan, this is much bigger than you think.
The night outside the hospital was quiet. Too quiet. Ethan and Liana stepped out through the sliding doors, the flickering security light above them buzzing in the darkness. Cars drove past occasionally. A soft breeze brushed against them, but neither moved. They were both thinking the same thing. Whoever sent that message knew exactly where they were, knew what they talked about, knew what they planned to do next. And that meant the danger was closer than they ever imagined. Liana folded her arms tightly, staring at Ethan's phone screen like she could squeeze answers out of it. "We need to move," she said quietly. "If they're watching us, standing in one spot makes us targets." Ethan nodded and followed her to the parking lot. She unlocked her car, they got inside, and Liana locked the doors immediately. For a while, neither spoke, just breathing, processing, thinking. Finally, Ethan whispered, "Liana, do you think David really did this?" Liana stared straight ahead, her jaw sharp, her voice steady. "Ethan, somebody used David, and they used him well." Ethan looked down at his hands. "How can a friend do this to me? Someone I trusted." Liana turned to him, her voice softer now. "Ethan, some betrayals don't come from hatred. They come from weakness, from jealousy, from fear." She hesitated, then touched his hand lightly. "Ethan, this isn't your fault." For the first time that night, he let out a breath he'd been holding for hours. He looked at her hand on his, close, warm, intentional, and something shifted in the air immediately. She noticed the shift too, because she didn't pull her hands back. Instead, she held it tighter. Ethan looked up slowly, his eyes meeting hers in the dim car light. "Ethan, Liana," he said quietly, "can I ask you something?" She swallowed. "Yes." "Why do you care about me this much?" He wasn't accusing her. He wasn't pushing her. He just wanted the truth. Liana didn't answer right away. Her eyes softened, her breath slowed, and for the first time, Ethan saw the woman behind the uniform. The vulnerable one, the scared one, the lonely one. The one who had built walls so no one could hurt her. But she didn't hide now. She looked right into his eyes and finally said, "Because you make me feel something I haven't felt in years." The air thickened between them, warm, electric, dangerous in the sweetest way. "I don't know what it is yet," she whispered, "but whenever I'm with you, I feel it." Ethan swallowed hard. "Liana." Their faces were inches apart now. Her breath touched his lips. His hand brushed her jaw gently. And then her phone rang. Loud, sharp, rude. They both froze. Liana blinked fast, pulled back quickly, her heart racing. I should get that," she said, unable to look at him. She answered the call. "Hello? Yes? What? Are you sure?" Ethan watched her expression change, from surprise to confusion to anger. She hung up, eyes wide. "What happened?" Ethan asked. Liana turned to him slowly. "That message you received earlier." "Yes?" "It's not the only one." Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" Liana inhaled deeply. "That same number sent a message to the station." Ethan straightened. "What message?" Liana locked eyes with him. They said, "You're looking in the wrong direction. Check the boy's bank account." For a moment, neither breathed. Then Ethan shook his head. "Whose account? Chike's?" "No," Liana said quietly. "Your other friend." "David?" Ethan whispered. "No," Liana nodded. "We already checked his call history. Nothing strange. But the moment that anonymous message came in, we checked deeper." She took a slow breath. "Ethan, David received 2 large deposits in the last month." Ethan's stomach tightened. "How large?" She looked him in the eyes. 20 million naira each. Ethan's chest went cold.
40 million, he whispered. She nodded, and right after the second one, the envelope appeared in your car. Ethan leans back, his breathing uneven. So David, he set me up. Completely. Yes. But who sent him the money? Ethan asked. Liana shook her head. That part is still hidden. Silence. Heavy. Cold. Dangerous. Ethan ran a hand through his hair. Liana, why are they coming after me? I didn't do anything. Liana stared at him. No. You didn't do anything wrong. She hesitated. Except become successful too early. Ethan blinked. What does that mean? Ethan, do you know how many enemies a 19-year-old making $70,000 a month can have? He blinked at her. Confused. Hurt. Angry. Liana leans closer, her voice low. Ethan, someone wants you out of the way and they want you gone in a way that destroys your life, your career, your reputation. Her eyes softened again. But I won't let that happen. Ethan looked at her, really looked, and saw the fire in her eyes. The protector, the fighter, the woman who would stand in front of a bullet if it meant saving someone she cared about. But something warm spread slowly through his chest. Liana, he whispered. She turned to him, her face inches away. Yes? Thank you. She shook her head gently. You don't have to thank me. He smiled faintly. I want to. Their eyes locked again. And this time, neither looked away. Liana's breathing changed. Soft, unsteady. Ethan leaned in slowly, giving her time to stop him. She didn't. Her eyes fluttered closed for a moment, but then she placed her hand on his chest and whispered, Ethan, not here. He swallowed. Why? She looked into his eyes with something deep and trembling. Because if I kiss you now, I won't stop. Ethan's chest tightened. And for a moment, the world outside the car disappeared. Just them. Their breath, their silence, their almost kiss. Then Liana straightened. We have to go, she said, recovering her focus. We're going to your house. My house? Why? Because if someone is watching you, hacking you, or paying your friends to betray you, then your house is the first place they'll plant evidence. Ethan's stomach twisted. You think they're trying to set me up again? Liana nodded once. They've already started, Ethan. We need to get ahead of them. He took a breath, nodded, and fastened his seatbelt. Liana started the engine, but before she drove off, she whispered, We're in this together now. Ethan looked at her. Together, he repeated softly. The car rolled out of the hospital gates into a night full of danger they didn't understand yet. A truth darker than either expected, and a future none of them were prepared for. But one thing was clear. Ethan and Liana were no longer just connected. They were becoming unavoidable. And whoever was coming after Ethan had no idea who he had beside him now.
Liana drove fast, her eyes sharp on the road, but Ethan could tell she was thinking hard, too hard. The night air rushed past the windows, carrying tension with it. Ethan, she said without looking at him, when we get to your house, stay behind me. Don't touch anything, don't open anything. Let me check the place first. Okay, he replied quietly. They pulled up to Ethan's gate. Everything looked normal, too normal. The street was quiet, no movement, no suspicious cars. Liana stepped out first, hand near her holster, not touching it, but ready. Stay close, she whispered. Ethan followed. She pushed the door open slowly. Silence. The house was exactly how Ethan left it, clean, organized, untouched. except for one thing. Liana noticed it first. "Ethan, did you leave your bedroom window open?" He froze. "No." A chill shot through both of them. Someone was inside. Liana raised a hand, telling Ethan not to move. She stepped slowly down the hallway, eyes sharp, breath steady. Then she paused. A faint sound came from Ethan's room. Footsteps. Soft, careful. Someone trying not to be heard. Before Ethan could speak, Liana rushed forward and kicked the door open. A man jumped back, startled, holding a small flash drive, Ethan's laptop bag open on the bed. "Freeze!" Liana shouted. The man bolted. He tried to escape through the back window, but Ethan blocked the way. The man swung at him with panic and fear. But Liana was faster. One sharp movement, one controlled takedown. The intruder hit the ground hard, groaning. Ethan stood back, breath shaking. Liana handcuffed the man quickly. He spat on the floor. "You don't know what you're messing with. All of you are finished." Ethan stepped closer. "Who sent you?" The man smirked. "You'll find out soon." But before he could say anything more, another voice came from the hallway. "Don't worry, he won't be the only one talking." Liana turned sharply. Two police officers stood at the door, with David in handcuffs. Ethan's heart dropped. David's eyes were red, filled with fear and regret. "I'm sorry," David whispered. "They paid me. I didn't know it would go this far. I didn't know they wanted to destroy you." "Ethan, I'm sorry." Ethan looked at him, hurt, angry, disappointed. "Why, David?" Ethan asked softly. "Why would you choose money over me?" David broke down in tears. "They said I was nothing compared to you, that I'll always be behind you. I was stupid. I let jealousy control me." Liana shook her head slowly. Jealousy is not an excuse for trying to ruin someone's life. The officers dragged David outside. The intruder was taken too. Ethan leaned against the wall, exhausted. Liana walked to him slowly. "You're safe now," she said gently. He looked at her, really looked at her, like she was the only steady thing left in his world. "Liana," he whispered, "if you didn't come into my life, I don't know where I would be right now." She swallowed softly. "And if you didn't forgive me the first day we met, I wouldn't be standing here either." Their eyes held, longer than they ever had. Something warm moved between them. Something real. Something deep. Liana stepped closer, her voice low and trembling. "Ethan." He stepped closer too. "I know," he said quietly. "Me too." Their breaths mixed in the quiet hallway. Her hand brushed his. He held it. She didn't pull away. Slowly, almost shyly, Ethan lifted her face with his hand. Liana didn't look away this time. Their lips met, soft first, like both of them were afraid to break the moment. Then deeper, warmer. A kiss that carried everything they never said. A kiss that melted tension, fear, pain. A kiss months in the making. She pulled back slightly, breath shaking. "Ethan, what are we doing?" He smiled gently. "Something we should have done a long time ago." She rested her forehead against his. "You're trouble." "And you love trouble," he whispered back. She laughed quietly, then kissed him again, longer this time, her hands resting gently on his chest. When they finally pulled away, the room felt warmer, softer. Liana looked into his eyes. "I'm not going anywhere," she whispered. "And I'm not losing you," he replied. She took his hand, squeezed it. Tonight, the danger was gone. The bad guys were arrested. The truth was out. The fear had passed. But the emotions were just beginning. Liana leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder as they walked toward the living room. They didn't talk much.
They didn't need to. All Ethan knew was this. For the first time in a long time, he felt safe. For the first time in a long time, she felt chosen. They stayed together for the rest of the night. Quiet, close, wrapped in each other's presence. The kind of closeness that says without a single word, I'm here, and I'm not leaving.
Ethan woke up the next morning feeling lighter than he had felt in months, maybe years. Liana was still asleep beside him on the couch, her head resting gently on his shoulder. The TV was still on, playing some late-night movie neither of them watched. He didn't move. He didn't want to wake her. He just watched her breathe. For the first time, he allowed himself to think, maybe this is real. A policewoman and a tech genius, 28 and 19, strict and gentle, fire and calm. Somehow, it worked. When Liana finally opened her eyes, she blinked slowly, then looked up at him. "You're staring," she said, smiling a little. "You drooled on my shoulder," he replied. Her eyes widened. "Wait, did I? No, you're lying." He laughed softly, and it felt natural, like something he had known all his life. She stood, stretched, and rubbed her eyes. "Ethan, are we dating now?" she asked shyly. He looked at her with a soft smile. "Yes, if you want that." Her cheeks warmed. "I do." That was the beginning. Their first official date came 2 days later. Liana wore a simple blue dress, nothing dramatic, but Ethan couldn't stop staring. Ethan wore a clean white shirt and jeans, simple but perfect. They went to a small restaurant in GRA, not too fancy, not too noisy, just right for two people learning how to love slowly. Their conversation was awkward at first. Liana kept adjusting her hair, Ethan kept wiping invisible dust off his shirt. "You're nervous," she said. "So are you," he replied. She laughed. Her laugh always came out like she didn't expect it. They talked for hours, about her job, about his work, about being misunderstood, about how lonely success felt for both of them. And when it was time to leave, she hesitated. "Ethan, can I hold your hand?" He didn't answer. He just took her hand gently, and she held it like it was something precious. After 2 months, they fit together in the small, everyday ways. The way Liana would text a single angry emoji if he called too late, or the way he would bring her plain bread when she said she did not want anything big. He had once canceled a big contract to be with her when the station had a problem. He did not tell her the contract was worth far more than his monthly rent. He only said, "I needed to be there." She had cried a little that night, and he had held her. He had risked time, income, sleep. He had, in small, private ways, risked things for her. That truth sat inside him like a warm, quiet thing. One morning, in a quiet restaurant in GRA, Liana sat opposite someone she hadn't seen in 3 years, her best friend, Amaka. They hugged tightly. "Ah, Liana, you didn't even tell me you're in love, oh," Amaka teased. "The glow on your face is shouting." Liana blushed. "I'm not glowing, I'm just happy." "Happy because of who?" Amaka leaned forward. "Tell me everything." Liana opened her phone and scrolled to Ethan's picture, the one she loved the most. Ethan was smiling softly, eyes calm, holding her hand. This is him. Amaka reached for the phone and froze. Her smile dropped slowly, painfully. Her fingers shook. She stared at the picture so long, Liana became confused. "Amaka, what is it?" Amaka's eyes filled instantly. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. "Amaka, talk to me," Liana said, holding her friend's hand. Amaka wiped a tear. "Liana, please don't tell me this is the man you're dating." Liana's heart skipped. "Yes, why? Do you know him?" Amaka covered her mouth, tears slipping between her fingers. "I know him. I know him too well." Liana felt her chest tighten. "What do you mean?" Amaka finally looked up, her face broken. "Liana, he used me." Liana blinked. "Used you? Ethan? Ethan doesn't even—" "He used me, Liana," Amaka cried.
I was in Abuja then. He told me he loved me. He promised marriage. He stayed in my house for weeks. He took everything, my money, my body, my time. Then one morning, he just disappeared. Liana shook her head, confused and scared. No, that can't be him. Ethan is gentle. He blocked me everywhere. He destroyed me, Liana. Liana felt something deep inside her crack. Her breath got shaky. That's not possible. Ethan isn't like that. Look, Amaka whispered. She pulled out her phone, opened her gallery, and showed Liana pictures. Pictures of her and a boy who looked exactly like Ethan. Same smile, same eyes, same everything. And he told me his name was Daniel. But Liana, this is your Ethan. Liana's world spun. She felt like she was falling. Her chest got tight, her hands cold, her heart vibrating painfully. No, not Ethan, not the boy who held her like she was the world, not the boy who defended her, not the boy who made her believe love could be gentle. Liana, Amaka whispered, breaking again. Please, leave him. That boy will destroy you. Men like him don't change. Those words hit her like a blade. Men like him don't change. Men, her ex, the one who cheated, the one who used her for money, the one who made her feel unlovable. All men, all disappointments, all pain. Liana felt everything inside her collapse. Her throat tightened, her eyes burned, and for the first time in years, she broke down crying in public. Amaka hugged her tightly. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I healed, but seeing his face again, I couldn't hold it. Liana couldn't breathe. Everything felt wrong. Everything hurt. Everything felt like betrayal. Was Ethan lying all along? Was she stupid again? Was she being used again? Was she repeating the same mistake? She wiped her tears and stood abruptly. I have to go. Liana! But she didn't hear anything anymore. Her footsteps were quick, shaky, broken. Her heart was louder than the traffic outside. Ethan had no idea. He bought flowers, her favorite ones. He hummed music as he walked toward her station. He planned to surprise her. He had imagined her smile 10 times on the way. But when he reached the station gate, he saw something he didn't understand. Liana, in uniform, eyes red, face stiff, shoulders tense, standing in the rain. She wasn't alone. 2 officers stood beside her, worried. Ethan stopped walking. Liana, he called softly. She flinched like the sound of his voice hurt her. Ethan frowned and walked closer. Hey, what's wrong? Why are you crying? She looked away. Ethan, please, go home. Her voice was shaking. He took another step. Liana, talk to me. What happened? She took a step back, a small, scared one. Don't come closer. Ethan froze. What? Why? More tears filled his eyes. Ethan, it's over. He felt his heart physically drop inside his chest. What do you mean it's over? Liana, what are you talking about? She tried to breathe. I thought you were different. I believed you. I trusted you. But you're just like the rest. Ethan shook his head fast. No, tell me what happened. Tell me who lied to you. Tell me what you think I did. She closed her eyes tight, like his voice was cutting her. Ethan, stop. No, he said, stepping closer. Look at me, Liana. Look at me and tell me what I did wrong. Her tears rolled uncontrollably. I can't. Please, just go. He reached for her hand gently. Liana, she slapped him hard. The sound echoed in the rain. The flowers fell from Ethan's hand. His cheek burned, but not as much as his heart. He didn't touch his face. He didn't move. He just stared at her, confused, hurt, completely broken. I'm sorry, pain choking her voice. Please, just walk away. An officer stepped forward quickly. Sir, please leave. Let her go. Liana turned immediately and walked to the patrol car. Ethan stepped forward helplessly. Liana, please, talk to me. Tell me what I did wrong. But she didn't look back. Not once. She got into the car and shut the door.
Ethan's breath shook as the rain fell harder. The patrol car reversed slowly, lights flashing red and blue across his face, and drove away, taking the woman he loved with it, leaving him standing alone, soaked, confused, destroyed. His voice trembled. Why would she hit me? What is she hiding from me? He didn't know Daniel set him up. He didn't know Amaka was crying over a lie. He didn't know a fake version of him existed. He didn't know Liana's heart was breaking as hard as his. He didn't know. This was only the beginning.
Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more.